So I never played Castlevania 1 as a kid, but I could see how this game would just fucking scare the testicles right off me. I mean, just look at the cover. Look at Dracula. Dude's got fucking blood running down his mouth. Every 100 years, Dracula ascends from the dead to spread chaos and destruction throughout the world. It's up to you to put Dracula to rest for good. Sort of. You play as Simon Belmont, a descendant of Christopher, who was the first Belmont to destroy Dracula 100 years earlier. Oh my gosh. Exciting. The story's pretty much par for the course for games at the time.
You're the good guy and you gotta kill the bad guy 'cause he's bad.
The game stands out from the rest, I think, primarily because of its setting. The game's dark. The enemies and bosses are fucking spooky. Well, most of them. The game's level design and enemy placement is superb. You can't Sonic your way through this shit. It makes you stop and think about every encounter, and even then, you might still get your ass kicked. The game takes a lot of clear inspiration from the Hammer horror films, and even some Greek mythology. Skeletons that throw bones, Medusa heads that fucking knock your ass off the stage, whatever the fuck this is supposed to be. So you control Simon like I mentioned earlier, but Simon's not as nimble as his Super Castlevania 4 counterpart. You still have that I really need to take a shit power walk, but your jump is so stiff. Traversing upstairs is especially annoying because you can't jump off them, so you basically just have to eat the hits. You also can't control your midair trajectory, so you better hope you time your jumps just right, because the knockback that's become a staple of Castlevania is here in full force. Trying to make a jump? Well, here's a bat to fuck your day up. You have your trusty whip, the Vampire Killer, which has this delay on it that I think does a good job of adding to the ass clinchery of this game. You can whip candles, which give you special sub-weapons, or hearts, which are basically ammo for that sub-weapon. Some of the sub-weapons you collect are actually pretty useful, like the stopwatch. You can stop time briefly, which is pretty helpful to deal with the Medusa heads or the Axe Knights. So I think this is as good a time as any to talk about the difficulty. The game on a scale of 1 to Ninja Gaiden is about a solid 8. It's fucking hard, but it's a good kind of hard. Levels are designed intelligently, often giving you the best sub-weapon for that particular zone. Some sub-weapons can even be used to make more difficult bosses easier.
They know. So you can just...
So all in all, I think Castlevania 1 was a great starting point and entry game to the series. It's not as widely remembered as something like Super Mario Brothers, but the game is just a fucking total classic to me. The controls are stiff and they take some getting used to, but it's a game that you can just always come back to. Then they made a second one. It's pretty weird to say, but as big of a fan I am of Castlevania and playing virtually every game in the series minus the God of War ripoffs, I've never played this game. Step into the shadows of the Hell House. What? So after you beat Dracula in the first game, he apparently put a curse on you while he was dying. To rid yourself of the curse, you have to collect body parts of Dracula that have been placed in different mansions throughout the game. So one thing you'll notice upon immediately spawning in the game is there aren't any spooky skeletons. Why can't I kill you? Instead of going the traditional linear level progression route, Konami decided to make Castlevania 2 an RPG. All the movement and gameplay mechanics are the same, but now you gotta buy shit with the hearts in order to progress through the game. I just really don't like this change. When you have linear levels, you know exactly where the player is coming from and can plan accordingly with your enemy placement. In Castlevania 2, shit's just there. So you just have to sit in the woods and farm. And then farm some more. Then you finally get enough hearts to buy the stupid item you need to progress through the game. Yay! Without a walkthrough, I'd have no fucking clue where to go. The townsfolk you speak to are also super fucking cryptic. Rumor has it a ferryman at Dead River loves garlic. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, good. I now possess Dracula's rib. Even just traversing through the mansions is annoying in this game because you gotta spam the holy water so you don't fall through the fucking ground. There are only 2 bosses minus Dracula. And why can you walk right past the Grim Reaper? To be fair, the game did do some innovative things that I like the day and night cycle. Yes, I know, but that was pretty fucking cool for the time. In the daytime, shit's all peaceful and you can go to the church and heal. And at nighttime, everybody closes up shop and there's zombies and ghouls afoot. Also, the game has some really fucking badass Castlevania music. But that about sums it up on the good chart. Castlevania 2 isn't really finely remembered, but it does have that Castlevania feel to it. And fans of the series have even attempted to fix the game by making the day and night cycles quicker and redubbing a lot of what the town folks have to say. All in all, this game was like a cat to water for me, but then they made a third one. How many more of these games am I going to talk about? Castlevania 3 is the third entry in the series, and it's a return to form. You start the game off as Trevor Belmont, who's another descendant of Simon. Everything's how it should be. Whip candles to get hearts and sub-weapons, defeat this spooky boss at the end of the stage, and above all else, destroy Dracula. So what's new this time around? After you finish certain stages, you get the option to decide which path you take next. Defeating certain bosses in these stages allows you to recruit them to follow you on your quest to destroy Dracula. That's kinda neat. If you get tired of Shitwalker McGee and his fucking stiff-ass jump, then you can try some of these characters out. You can press select to switch between characters, just so you know. The first buddy you get is Grant. Grant's pretty fucking cool. You can climb on walls and shit, but he's got this really pussy short-range dagger. Then you get Sypha. Sypha also has a dinky-ass short-ranged attack, but Sypha's got her own sub-weapons, and these are some badass magical abilities. Then the final guy you unlock is Alucard. Alucard fucking sucks, but he can turn into a bat and fly past the annoying shit in this game at the cost of hearts, so that's kind of cool, I guess. You can only take one buddy along at a time, so I usually just stick to Sypha. You'll need a buddy though, because this game is fucking hard. I thought Castlevania 1 was hard, but that was like fucking kiddie shit compared to this game. You really gotta put your big boy pants on when you play this one. Dracula looks like a fucking Power Rangers villain in his third form. I don't know why I mentioned that, but just something I noticed. This game is the definitive NES Castlevania. I still prefer the original for nostalgia's sake, but this game is pretty goddamn good. So that's my retrospective on the NES Castlevania games. Basically, I love 1 and 3, not so much 2. Thanks for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, then write me a 5-paragraph essay on what you liked.